The vast darkness of space was silent, broken only by the soft hum of Kale's reconnaissance ship. He had seen countless planets, conquered numerous civilizations, and Earth looked like just another weak target. Kale's metallic fingers danced across holographic screens scanning the blue and green planet below. Decades of interstellar travel had taught him to recognize patterns of weak civilizations, and Earth seemed pathetically predictable. His species, the Vordax, were known across 17 star systems as ruthless conquerors. They didn't negotiate. They simply arrived and claimed territories. Planets either surrendered or were systematically dismantled. Earth appeared fractured. Constant news cycles showed human conflicts, political arguments, economic tensions, territorial disputes. From high above, humans looked like tiny ants fighting over meaningless territories. The planet's communication networks were a chaotic mess. Kale could see multiple languages, conflicting ideologies, and what seemed like constant internal struggle. No unified global strategy, no single technological standard, no collective defense mechanism. Another routine conquest, he muttered, zooming into different continental regions. North America showed technological clusters, but with significant economic disparities. Europe seemed politically fragmented. Asia displayed rapid technological growth mixed with traditional cultural practices. Africa struggled with developmental challenges. Kale's preliminary analysis suggested total planetary submission would take approximately 3 standard galactic weeks. His previous conquests had followed similar patterns: identify weak points, disrupt communication networks, neutralize potential resistance centers. His spacecraft's advanced sensors picked up everything: military installations, communication towers, energy production facilities. Humans had nuclear capabilities, but their technological integration was primitive compared to Vordax standards. Interestingly, humans seemed unaware of potential external threats. Their astronomical research was limited, their space exploration minimal. They were looking outward but understanding very little. Military preparations seemed scattered. Different nations maintained separate defense strategies. No unified planetary defense protocol existed. Their weapons technology was impressive, but inconsistent. Kyle reviewed data streams, noting human technological developments: quantum computing, artificial intelligence, genetic research, promising individual achievements but lacking cohesive implementation. His species had conquered civilizations with far more advanced initial appearances. Humans looked like another predictable target. A sudden data spike caught his attention. Something unusual was happening in a research facility near the Pacific Ocean. Advanced computational patterns, unexpected energy signatures. Kale zoomed surveillance, systems, curiosity momentarily replacing his conquest mindset. A team of researchers seemed engaged in something extraordinary. Complex algorithms scrolled across screens, collaborative efforts that didn't match traditional competitive human behavior. Interesting, he whispered, adjusting monitoring frequencies. The facility seemed different. Researchers from multiple nationalities worked together, communication flowing seamlessly. No territorial ego, no competitive tension, pure collaborative science. Kale's initial assessment started developing microscopic cracks. Something about these humans felt unpredictable. His ship's AI generated preliminary invasion strategies: standard Vordax protocol, identify leadership centers, disrupt communication networks, neutralize potential resistance. But something felt different about this planet. Humans appeared chaotic, yet underneath that apparent disorder, complex systems of adaptation existed. Their ability to transform challenges into opportunities seemed unique. Kyle knew conquering was his mission. The Vordax Confederation expected another swift, efficient planetary submission. His reputation as a successful reconnaissance officer was at stake. Yet something about Earth made him hesitate. Tiny blue planet, seemingly weak civilization, constant internal conflicts, technological disparities. But something was brewing beneath the surface, something the Vordax had never encountered before. As his ship continued its silent observation, Kale couldn't shake an unusual feeling. uncertainty, a rare emotion for a Vordax warrior. Earth was watching back, and it was smiling. The global environmental crisis hit without warning. Massive climate disruptions threatened multiple continents simultaneously. Extreme weather patterns emerged, challenging human survival capabilities. Kyle watched from his spacecraft, expecting total civilization collapse. Previous planetary observations suggested humans would fragment, fight among themselves, and ultimately, self-destruct. But something unexpected happened. June Park, a relatively unknown environmental engineer, began coordinating an international response. His communication network spread faster than the environmental threats. Research centers across different continents started sharing data in real time. Satellite communications buzzed with collaborative energy. Universities in Japan connected with research stations in Antarctica. Technology centers in California synchronized with environmental monitoring teams in Brazil. Engineers in Germany collaborated with climate scientists in Nigeria. What Kyle observed defied his entire understanding of planetary crisis management. Humans weren't fighting each other. They were fighting the problem together. Advanced computational models emerged within days. Technological solutions that would have taken the Vordax Confederation months were developed in mere weeks. Adaptive algorithms transformed environmental monitoring systems. A young researcher in Seoul developed a revolutionary carbon capture technology. Another team in Canada created advanced water purification mechanisms. A group of engineers in Australia designed sustainable energy solutions that could be rapidly deployed in multiple climate zones. Kale's monitoring systems struggled to process the speed of human innovation. No single government controlled the response. No centralized authority dictated solutions. Instead, an organic, decentralized network of human intelligence worked simultaneously. Quantum computing merged with biological adaptation algorithms. Open-source research platforms allowed instant global collaboration. Scientists who were strangers yesterday became collaborative partners today. The Vordax had conquered hundreds of civilizations. They understood technological hierarchies, military strategies, and planetary submission protocols. But this was something entirely different. Humans weren't just surviving. They were transforming a global crisis into an opportunity for collective growth. Sophisticated climate restoration mechanisms emerged. Sustainable technologies spread across industrial sectors faster than the environmental threats. Where Kyle expected weakness, he found extraordinary adaptability. Communication networks transformed emergency resources with unprecedented efficiency. Medical research centers shared viral prevention strategies instantly. Agricultural technologies adapted to changing environmental conditions within weeks. Kale's initial invasion preparations started feeling obsolete. These humans possessed something beyond technological capability: a collective intelligence, an ability to transform challenges into opportunities, a remarkable capacity for rapid, coordinated adaptation. His spacecraft's advanced monitoring systems captured every detail. Collaborative platforms, instant knowledge sharing, decentralized problem-solving mechanisms. No leader commanded this response. No single authority controlled the global effort. It was an emergent, self-organizing system of human potential. June Park became an unexpected global coordinator. Not through official positions, but through intellectual leadership. His communication strategies connected researchers, engineers, and policymakers across different cultural and geographical boundaries. The environmental crisis became a planetary transformation opportunity. Kale realized something profound was happening. Humans weren't just responding to a threat. They were reimagining their entire relationship with their planetary ecosystem. Technological innovations emerged rapidly. Complex systems thinking replaced traditional problem-solving approaches. Humans demonstrated an extraordinary ability to learn, adapt, and collaborate. His preliminary invasion report started feeling increasingly irrelevant. These weren't just technological solutions. This was a fundamental reimagining of human potential. As global restoration efforts began showing initial success, Kale's understanding of planetary conquest started crumbling. Humans had just transformed a potential extinction-level event into a collaborative global renaissance, and they did it without any central command, without any single technological standard, without any traditional hierarchical structure. Something remarkable was happening on this tiny blue planet, and the Vordax had never seen anything like it. Yuna Kim stood in the research center, her eyes reflecting multiple holographic screens. Something extraordinary was happening, and she knew it. The global technological breakthrough began quietly. No dramatic announcements, no massive press conferences, just pure, concentrated human innovation. Quantum computing merged with biological adaptation algorithms in ways no alien civilization had ever imagined. Advanced systems emerged that could predict and solve complex problems faster than any known technological network. Kale's monitoring systems detected unusual energy signatures, computational patterns that defied traditional technological understanding, were spreading across research centers worldwide. In a small laboratory in Seoul, a team of young researchers discovered a breakthrough that would change everything. They weren't just developing technology. They were reimagining the relationship between biological systems and computational intelligence. Their algorithm could adapt, learn, transform. Artificial intelligence shifted from a tool to a collaborative partner. Machine learning systems began solving problems that humans couldn't even fully articulate. Complex environmental challenges found unexpected solutions within minutes. Kale watched in growing confusion. The technological leap wasn't coming from a single location. It wasn't controlled by one government or research center. It was a global, decentralized explosion of human potential. Medical research centers developed adaptive treatment protocols that could change in real time. Agricultural technologies created crops that could survive in changing environmental conditions. Energy systems became self-repairing, self-optimizing networks. What would take the Vordax Confederation decades happened in weeks. Interdisciplinary collaboration became the new standard. Biologists worked with computer engineers. Climate scientists partnered with artificial intelligence experts. Traditional boundaries of knowledge simply disappeared. A research team in Brazil developed a neural network that could predict agricultural challenges months in advance. Another group in Canada created adaptive infrastructure systems that could self-modify during environmental stress. Kale's invasion preparations started feeling ridiculous. These humans were transforming their entire technological landscape. Not through force, not through centralized control, but through collaborative intelligence. The breakthrough wasn't just technological. It was a fundamental reimagining of problem-solving. Young researchers shared knowledge instantly. Open-source platforms became more valuable than closed corporate research. Intellectual property transformed from a competitive tool to a collaborative resource. Every technological advancement became a global opportunity. Yuna Kim coordinated international research efforts with unprecedented efficiency. Her communication strategies connected researchers across cultural and geographical boundaries. No traditional hierarchical structures limited their potential. The Vordax had conquered hundreds of civilizations. They understood technological superiority. But this was something entirely different. Humans weren't just developing technology. They were creating adaptive intelligence networks that could transform themselves. Quantum entanglement met biological adaptation. Artificial intelligence learned from ecological systems. Technology became a living, breathing ecosystem of knowledge. Kale's spacecraft monitoring systems struggled to process the complexity. What appeared chaotic was actually an incredibly sophisticated, self-organizing system of innovation. No central command, no single technological standard, just pure collaborative human potential. The technological breakthrough defied every invasion protocol in the Vordax database. These humans were creating something unprecedented, a technological ecosystem that could adapt, learn, and transform faster than any known civilization. Kyle realized something profound. Humans weren't just developing technology. They were rewriting the fundamental rules of technological evolution, and They were doing it with a speed and creativity that was absolutely terrifying. The tiny blue planet was becoming something extraordinary, and nobody saw it coming. The moment of direct confrontation arrived unexpectedly. Kale's reconnaissance ship was detected, not through traditional military systems, but through a complex network of global technological monitoring platforms. Hyun Lee, a strategic coordinator, with an exceptional understanding of global defense mechanisms, was the first to recognize the alien presence. Unlike traditional military responses, he didn't mobilize weapons. He prepared a response that would redefine planetary defense. Within minutes, multiple global research centers synchronized their systems. No single nation controlled the response. It was a collective, adaptive strategy that emerged organically. Quantum. Communication networks activated simultaneously across different continents. Advanced tracking systems mapped the alien vessel's every movement, but they didn't prepare for traditional combat. They prepared for communication. Kale realized something was different. Humans weren't displaying fear. They were displaying curiosity. Global. Communication platforms began generating complex mathematical sequences, not as a threat, but as a communication protocol. Advanced algorithms created translation mechanisms that could potentially bridge interspecies communication. The Vordax invasion manual had no response for this. Diplomatic channels opened through unexpected means. Scientific research platforms became communication bridges. Universities worldwide began analyzing potential extraterrestrial communication strategies. Hyun Lee's team developed a multi-layered defensive approach that wasn't about destruction. It was about understanding. Technological deterrence emerged as their primary strategy, not through weapons but through a demonstration of human technological capabilities. Each system showed the potential complexity of human innovation. Kale's spacecraft was simultaneously tracked, analyzed, and communicated with. No aggressive moves, just pure, calculated technological demonstration. Global satellite networks created a comprehensive monitoring system. Energy signatures were mapped. Potential communication frequencies were explored. The entire planet transformed into a sophisticated observation platform. Researchers in Tokyo developed quantum encryption protocols that could potentially interface with alien communication systems. Teams in California created adaptive translation algorithms. European research centers analyzed potential technological exchange mechanisms. The confrontation wasn't about conflict. It was about potential understanding. Hyun Lee understood something fundamental. Humans weren't just defending. They were presenting their potential. Every technological system became a communication tool. Medical research platforms showed adaptive intelligence. Environmental monitoring systems demonstrated complex problem-solving capabilities. Agricultural technologies revealed sustainable innovation strategies. The alien vessel found itself surrounded not by military threats, but by a complex, adaptive technological ecosystem. Kale's invasion protocols began falling apart. These humans weren't preparing for war. They were preparing for potential dialogue. Communication happened through unexpected channels, mathematical sequences, technological demonstrations, complex algorithmic exchanges that showed the depth of human potential. No single government controlled the response. No centralized military strategy dominated. It was a collective, adaptive approach that emerged organically. Global research centers became communication platforms. Universities transformed into potential diplomatic interfaces. Scientific communities prepared comprehensive analysis protocols. Hyun Lee's strategy was brilliantly simple. Show potential, demonstrate capability, create opportunities for understanding. The alien vessel found itself in an unprecedented situation. Humans weren't reactive. They were proactively exploring potential interspecies communication. Complex technological networks mapped every possible communication frequency. Adaptive algorithms prepared translation mechanisms. Research platforms generated potential communication protocols. Kyle realized something profound. This wasn't a planet preparing for invasion. This was a civilization preparing for potential. Collaboration. The confrontation became a technological ballet. Complex, adaptive, unprecedented. Humans had transformed a potential conflict into an opportunity for understanding, and they did it without firing a single weapon. The tiny blue planet had just redefined planetary defense, and the universe was watching. Kale's final report shocked the entire Vordax Confederation. The massive communication chamber fell silent as he presented his findings. Holographic displays showed complex data streams from Earth, not battlefield reports but collaborative research, networks, adaptive technological ecosystems, and unprecedented human potential. Humans are not a conquest target, he stated firmly. They are a civilization of extraordinary adaptive potential. His superior commanders stared in disbelief. No reconnaissance mission had ever returned with such a radical recommendation. Diplomatic. Engagement instead of planetary submission. The report detailed humanity's remarkable transformation capabilities, not through military might but through collective intelligence. Every challenge became an opportunity. Every potential conflict transformed into a collaborative solution. Quantum computing merged with human creativity. Technological systems became living, breathing networks of innovation. Research platforms operated like intelligent organisms, constantly adapting, learning, transforming. Kale showed how humans solved problems differently. No centralized command, no hierarchical structure, just pure, decentralized problem-solving. Intelligence. Global environmental challenges became planetary restoration opportunities. Technological limitations became innovation platforms. Economic disparities transformed into collaborative development strategies. The Vordax had conquered hundreds of civilizations. They understood technological superiority. But humans demonstrated something unprecedented, adaptive potential beyond traditional measurements. Their scientific research centers operated like intelligent ecosystems. Knowledge sharing happened faster than information transmission. Collaborative platforms replaced competitive research models. Young researchers in different continents solved complex problems together. Cultural differences became collaborative advantages. Technological innovation emerged from unexpected interactions. Kyle's recommendation was clear. Humans represented a potential galactic partner, not a conquest target. The Confederation's oldest commanders argued, how could a seemingly fragmented civilization represent a potential threat? How could a planet with constant internal conflicts be considered strategically significant? But the data was undeniable. Humans had transformed multiple planetary challenges into opportunities. They created technological solutions faster than any known civilization. Their adaptive intelligence defied traditional technological understanding. No single human controlled their global response systems. No centralized authority managed their innovative potential. It was a self-organizing, continuously evolving, technological ecosystem. Medical research platforms could predict and prevent potential health challenges. Environmental monitoring systems could restore ecological balance. Agricultural technologies could feed growing populations sustainably. The Vordax had never encountered a civilization that could transform challenges into opportunities so rapidly. Kale's personal logs revealed something more profound. Humans weren't just developing technology. They were reimagining their relationship with their planet, with each other, and potentially with the universe. Collaborative intelligence became their primary survival mechanism. Cultural diversity became their strategic advantage. Technological innovation became their collective language. The Confederation's invasion protocols became obsolete. Humans had just demonstrated that technological potential wasn't about weapons or control. It was about adaptation, collaboration, and continuous transformation. His recommendation was radical but clear. Establish diplomatic communication. Explore potential collaborative research opportunities. Understand this extraordinary civilization. The tiny blue planet had just transformed the Vordax's entire understanding of planetary potential. No weapons, no conflict, just pure, extraordinary human capability. The universe watched and learned, and everything changed.